This is Spencer again, coming to you from Tampa Bay, Florida, showing you another quick tip on how to plaster a skim coat or do wall prep for your walls, whether you are wallpapering them or not. Now, this is a wall that I had videotaped myself plastering just the other day. But I just wanted to show you, now that I have a helper holding the camera for me, I wanted to show you the angle at which I was demonstrating to hold your boat trowel. Okay, when I tell you that you can do this, I mean anybody can do this. If it's too heavy for you, you use less plaster. If it's not too heavy for you, you use more. So I just needed the joint compound on my hawk. This is a hawk with my 14-inch boat trowel. I'm getting the air pockets out. I'm making the compound softer. I'm moving the liquid in the compound around so that it's all homogeneous. Wow, that's a big word, right? If you drink your milk, you know what that means. All right, just kidding. So now I got it soft. You see how it's moving on there? Now, so that you don't keep dipping onto your hawk, I want to show you a little fast, quick tip on how to get the knife with plaster all over it so you just don't do this. That's not enough. You'll be there all day. What I want you to do is swoop down onto the hawk. The hawk is dry. It's going to pull the compound onto it as you drag the hawk through as you drag your trowel through the hawk. So watch what I'm saying. Look at that. That's a workable amount of compound on your hawk. Now, I injured my back, so I'm not going to be as nimble as I should be to do this. But this is how, if you're a lefty, this is how you would do it, or if a righty. This is the beauty of this tool, by the way. Your wrist is very taxed during the application of compound. Any plasterer will tell you that it is the wrist that feels the pressure from applying compound. But this tool makes it doable from 4 different angles. And I'm going to show you the first one. 1. So that puts a certain tax on the wrist in one direction. But if that part of your wrist is no good, I want you to take the trowel, turn it around, and use this motion. Watch this. Look at how beautiful it comes, nice and flat. But let's say you've been doing it all day, you use this motion, that motion, no problem. Now I want you to go from left to right. Watch this. Completely different muscle. You're using this one now. Now let's say you're at the end of the day, all 3 sides of your wrist are killing you. No problem. I want you to find the last way, and that's this. You're going to take the trowel, and now you're going to take the compound like this. So instead of going like this, you're now going to take it underneath it, and now you don't have to swipe like this because gravity will put the compound right on it. And this is all I want you to do. Look at that. Look at how beautifully it spreads, and look at how quickly, too. And now, you're using the 4th stroke of the wrist. Believe it or not, there's actually more pressure on my shoulder as you ever lift weights and you pull the weight out like this? That's the muscle that's being used right now. The wrist is pretty much staying in the same position. So, by the time you get done for the day, no part of your wrist or your arm should be killing you, because this tool permits you to work it from 4 different angles and spread the compound beautifully, okay? So just to review, you have this direction, this direction, this direction, and this direction. All of which, by the way, apply the same amount of compound equally beautifully. Now, the last thing I want to show you on this quick tip with compound is the angle at which I want you to spread your plaster. So, if I just want to get the plaster on, first of all, if I want to just get the plaster on real quick, I'm going to use a bigger applicator. This is a 20-inch trowel. But I'll tell you what, for me, it's not my preference to use this tool because, first of all, this is a dangerous tool. This thing can cut you when you're walking up a ladder if you get a little tired. This thing is very sharp. It can stab you, and it can injure your arms. You have to be super careful when you're using this. However, it is a good tool to spread lots of plaster on the wall. So if I just wanted to get my plaster on the wall, if I had another man with me, and I I said spread the plaster, he could either do it by a roller or he could go spread it quickly with this trowel. Now, this is about 3/16 inch thick of compound. And he just gets it on quick like this. He's not spreading it out, although he could. But in my opinion, it's not the best tool with which to do your compounding. See, this has a little flex to it. You can actually hear it. The flex allows you to do what I'm about to do. Do you see how this tool takes only what's necessary off of the wall? You see that? You can actually hear the flex in it if you hear the echo of the tool. Now, I must tell you, you do not have to sand these walls after this. It's not because I'm such a great plasterer. It is because I have discovered the tool with which compound should be spread. And it's the engineering of this tool. This allows your hand to apply the plaster and the compound in such a way as to get it on flawlessly, okay? Now, I showed you on one of the previous videos that taping knife. We all know the taping knife. They're like $10 in your local Home Depot or Lowe's. You can only use your wrist in one fashion, and that is like this. You're pushing down on it, and it's so taxing on your wrist that you tend to put too much compound on if you're working all day, and then you gotta sand more. This tool allows your hand to be more comfortable in the application of the compound. The taping knives, if you just Google taping knives, you'll see that they come in 4 inches. In fact, I'm holding one right now. This is a 6-inch taping knife, okay? This is good to go down and get my compound. I don't use a scooper because then you gotta clean it out. This is a taping knife. So, you see this handle? This gets old after a while, you know, to keep using your muscles like this. But the taping knife, the 8-inch and the 10-inch and the 12-inch and the 14-inch are the same look, although they tend to be rectangular. And I don't like them at all. I have a lot of them, and I'm just going to give them away because they're obsolete as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, that's the way I would apply your plaster if I were you. You can do it, even if you've never plastered before. The only mistake you're going to make is not pushing down hard enough on your trowel, because your trowel is going to do the work for you. The last tip I want to show you, and it's the angle at which you need to hold your trowel. Now, a lot of people don't understand angles. So we have a wall here. The angle at which I'm holding my trowel is at a 90, okay? So I'm at a 90. The wall is flat at 180 degrees. The edge, this edge of my trowel is at 90 degrees with the wall. You can't plaster like that. What you want to do is bring it halfway between the 90 and the wall. Now I'm at 45. That's the angle at which you need to compound, okay? Let me just show you what would happen if we did it at a 90. Watch this. I couldn't even get it on, and not enough is going on, okay? But if I do it at a 45, halfway between the wall and the 90, look at what I can do. See that? I don't want you to stand there with a compass or whatever, an angle finder, but you'll see that it's the easiest angle at which to apply the plaster. You'll just know that's at a 45. So, 45. You put it on at a 45, you screed it off at a 45. Okay? Now this is called skim coating, okay? Beautiful. I'm telling you, if you sand this, you will actually scratch it up, because this tool puts it on with such precision that you don't need to do anything else after it, okay? This does not have to be sanded. It's just this beautiful tool. It's a beautiful job. And you want to use ready mix compound because it's the wettest. It's the softest material. If you start adding the powdered plaster, it's an extra challenge, and I wouldn't recommend it for a new plasterer because it makes the material more dense. You would have to add water to it, and you would have to use a lot more muscle in order to push the more dense material into a flatter application. Okay, if you have any questions, leave a comment in the section. If you like this video, if it helped you, click on like over here, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you once again. See you on the next one.